Hi, I'm Stuart Ewing of the Ewings of Gwinnett. I'm a Scotch-Irish historian and genealogist based in Atlanta, Georgia. This is part 2 of a video series created to provide Ewings, McEwens, and other interested parties a hiking tour of Castle Ewen on the shore of Loch Fyne in Kilfin, Scotland. And now I'm going to show you the other castle, the one normally overlooked by folks who come to Kilfin in Scotland. So today we're going to take a drive about 3 miles north of the Kilfin Hotel up the B8000 to a turnoff that goes to Ballamore House. There are a couple of ways to get to Ballamore House, but the one I took is the left-hand fork down a driveway that goes past an old house on the left that has no trespassing signs, then past the sawmill, and finally to this old estate built in 1830 by David Hamilton, and then later altered by William Leeper in the late 1800s. The surrounding gardens were added in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Once we arrive on the grounds of Ballamore, there's a short fork in the driveway just to the east of the house, about 100 yards away. It's a great place to park your car, as it is out of the way and technically not in a place where someone would object. Plus, it is just a short walk to the rear of the tennis courts, which should be visible from your car at that point. That's the start of the path that we'll take. Walk towards the rear of the tennis court. Continue to the rear and you'll see some newly planted shrubs along the way. Clearly someone continues to maintain the estate, as the lawns were freshly mowed when my daughter and I arrived. Don't let that deter you though, as we won't be bothering the estate grounds other than to just pass to its rear. The path will be very apparent once you get behind the tennis court, and it'll shortly come to what appears to be a medieval storage building of some sort on the right, perhaps used for gardening tools or equipment, or perhaps a root cellar. After passing this building, you'll see the back walls of the estate garden. And after a short walk, on the right, you'll see what appears to be a medieval guardhouse. My daughter enjoyed exploring it and imagining those who may have used it in the past. So ignoring the side paths, I continue down the main path, and after a few steps, I look back to see the rear of Ballamore Estate on a hill. We're now at the yellow star on our map. As we continue down the path, you'll see what appears to be a handful of side paths on the left that cross a lovely stream. I'll share that I tried one of these paths, and after getting bogged down in the mud, it opened up into a clearing that gave me access to the castle mount from the rear. I don't recommend that direction as it's too muddy, and you can only get to the top of the motte by scaling the side, which is going to be quite difficult for most people. I continue down the path and pass a stand of bamboo on the left, again reminding me of the native bamboo that grows in Georgia. Shortly after the bamboo, I come to a fork in the path, shown approximately at the pink star on this map. Either fork will work, but the right one leads to an access point for the beach and will take a little bit longer. I take the left fork and soon find myself at the shore of Loch Fyne with Otter Ferry, a natural point of land that looks like a man-made peninsula that could have been used to create a harbor for boats. On the left of the path, you'll see the foundation stones for a handful of small buildings hidden by the undergrowth. More on that later, but we believe that these are the remains of a settlement or a village. After going about 50 yards, we come upon a wooden sign indicating McEwen. The sign once stood and pointed to the left, where upon close inspection reveals a small, little-used path. Don't let this bother you. Take this path, and it will soon grow into a broader path that approaches a heavy thicket of rhododendron bushes and a mound on your left that rises about 40 feet in height. The path will end on top after a short but manageable climb. Here are monuments and graves for some of Clan Campbell. The story is that in the year 1432, the chief Sven, also known as Subene McEwen of Adel, surrendered his barony to King James I, who re-granted it to Celestine Campbell in the event the Swen should die without an heir. In exchange, Celestine Campbell paid Swen 60 marks in cash and 25 cows. There's speculation that this deal may have been a part of a marriage settlement between Sven and the Campbells. The Campbells retained control over the years. But one thing's for sure, earlier stories that Sven lost the land in a gambling debt have no basis in fact. At some point in the 1500s, the Campbell clan cleared the top of the motte and placed a Campbell burial ground there instead. The mound now has two structures. First has a four-walled structure that's a monument to four individuals who are actually buried elsewhere, at least one of whom is in Glasgow. The second, northerly structure is fully enclosed, and I believe it houses multiple graves that may date back to the 1500s, though the placard indicates the structure was placed there in the 1800s. Over time, once the castles and land fell out of control of the Ewings, there was a general migration of the clan to the area west of Loch Lomond, but that's a story for another time. I hope you have enjoyed the hikes and the story of this land and the two castles where so much of our past is rooted. If you have questions, feel free to contact me at ewingsofgwinnett@proton.me. That's ewingsofgwinnett@proton.me.